Hey guys, how are y'all? Happy Thursday. It's your girl, the Brooke Ashley, and today we are here to discuss the Real Housewives of New York. I know that I'm late, but it took me a while to rewatch the final part of the reunion. I just want to make a quick disclaimer. This is not going to be in order. I'm not going to be touching on every single thing that happened because I honestly don't really care about every single thing that they talked about. I really want to focus my attention on Brynn and Ubah, the last 30 minutes of the second part. First things first, I feel like Brynn got off way too easy. I know that a lot of y'all felt the same way. I also feel like Brynn is a dangerous person. And we spoke about this when I had my discussion with y'all. I had you guys call in. You guys, we're pretty much on the same track, right? I really don't know where this cast goes from here. I don't know if we're doing cast changes or if we just want Brynn off the show, but I do want to hear your thoughts throughout this live. But yeah, I just kind of felt like I was disappointed. I was very disappointed by how things ended. I'm not going to hold you. I'm confused as to why Ubah was apologizing at one point. I don't know what Ubah did wrong. Ubah is a better woman than I am because I'm still at a loss for words about what we watched. But I feel like Brynn played the victim the entire time. The tears, everybody on the cast having to explain to her what she did wrong, and she's still not getting it. It's still not computing. That's a problem. And I remember, I think it was either Cy or Erin who said at one point, the problem is she believes what she's saying, even though what she's saying isn't the truth. And you cannot argue with somebody or reason with somebody who believes their own lies and delusions. So yeah, Brynn, the stunt that you pulled playing the victim, I was too done. Yeah, it was the victimhood for me. Yep. Yeah. Oh, you said Brynn needs to be in Bellevue, child. She was tearing and laughing and acting like everything is okay. Yeah, because at one point I noticed that she was crying, but then she had that smirk on her face. If you guys look at the picture of the thumbnail, it's like a weird smirk. I felt like Brynn was very smug. I don't know why. I don't know where the smugness came from, but that was a very smug woman. Brynn is dangerous. Yep, Brynn is in dangerous waters. Her stunts ain't cute. No, not at all. She's too old to act like this. I agree. Hey, Brooke, I totally agree. She got off way too easy. I was low-key pissed at the end. She pulled out those tears to disable them, and I hate it worked. Shaking my damn head. Yeah, I agree. I thought that, Jenna with the, she's hurt and hurt people, hurt people. Raquel's coming in at the end to console her and saying, we have your back. Like, what are we doing here? The only person who needs to be consoled is Ubah, in my humble opinion. They always push Ubah to apologize to Brynn. Yes, they do. And thank you so much for the super chat, Yzma. Thank you so much. But I agree with that. It always seems like the onus to make things right is Ubah. I don't understand why Ubah had to apologize. I was perplexed. I do want to say, I want to start off by saying when, the first few minutes of part 2, we have Jessel going off on Brynn, right? And it's all about the whole thing about when they were in Puerto Rico, Cy, Brynn, and I think it was Erin, they were talking about Jessel having this love affair where she told them one night that she's still in love with her ex. And the reason why they couldn't be together is because he was Black and Jessel's parents were kind of racist, right? That was a story that Brynn said in her confessional. They all gossiped about it. When I saw that episode, my first thoughts were, this is why I will always be an advocate for moving in silence, because you cannot tell people everything. let's just say that that story was true, right? Let's say that that was true, because Jessel says that's not true. Why would you say that? Now you have my husband looking at me with a screw face, like, wait, what? Like, what's going on here? Is there some cheating? Like, are you unhappy? Let's say that Jessel actually did confide in them off camera that she was madly in love with this black man and they couldn't be together, and she still thinks about him. Why would you, with your pea brain, why would you think that that's a good idea to share that on national TV? Do you know the damage that that could cause to a marriage? Because now somebody's spouse is looking at you like, well, damn, am I second best? You didn't want me. I'm not your first choice. Well, let's divorce then. And I was glad when Jessel said, girl, you know, you really could have messed things up for me, because now my husband's looking at me crazy. And despite how I feel about Jessel, and despite how I feel about her marriage, because I don't see the love between them, but that's neither here nor there. The point is, Brynn was dead ass wrong for that. And for her to be like, you know, I'm sorry, that was never my intention. Well, what is your intention? Because again, you could have really messed things up. And even when, and Jessel went on to say, you know, he's still looking at me now. He gives me so much freedom, or he used to give me so much freedom, and now he's staring at me crazy. This might have a ripple effect on their marriage now because you told a lie like that. But let that be a lesson, though. Whether you're talking about your love life, whatever, that's why I always say keep your mouth shut, because people will use your information that you give them and weaponize it against you. Had that story been real, Jessel would have been up Schitt's Creek. The fact that Brynn turned a hookup story from before she was married into this whole thing, that's really messed up. Like, who does that? Now, a quick side note, I talked about this when I did my collaboration with DJ Richie Sky. Shout out to DJ Richie Sky. Love him to death. Friend to the show. But when I went to the Watch What Crappens Awards with Kempire 2 weeks ago, Jessel was there backstage. We were in the VIP section, right? Waiting before the show started. When Jessel came in, Jessel is rude as I don't know what. And you guys remember the story that I told y'all about at BravoCon. She was rude then. And it's so shocking because when I met her the first time, when I interviewed her on the red carpet, 2 years ago, she was so nice. So to see back to now see her again twice after that, and she's rude, I'm like, girl, what's going on? But Miss Jessel, while I don't see it for you in person, you're very rude. And the social climbing, that's very much, you're definitely that. But regardless of all that, I was glad that you tore Brynn up, because she could have destroyed your marriage with that whole lie about you being in love with somebody else while you're married to your husband. A mess. Yes, honey, Jessel is very rude in person. I just said, oh, okay. All right. Yep, the fame went to her head. It did. I was disappointed hearing that, but it shows how the fame went to her head. Yes, it's true. Never liked Jessel at all, child. Hey, how are you? Hey, y'all. Baby, she is rude. I was just like, okay. But I would say going forward, Brynn is somebody where you cannot say anything to. Don't tell her any tea. You know, and I know we joke around on here, but like, you know how on the Housewives, when they played like the sex games, like Never Have I Ever, I'm always laughing because I'm like, look, my rule of thumb is only tell business that you don't mind other people finding out about, because we know that people have big mouths. But I just feel like, yeah, going forward, keep your mouth shut. Don't talk about anything, because people will use it against you and try to mess you up the way that Brynn tried to do Jessel and her marriage. A mess. Yes, keep it very, yep, you got to keep it surface with Brynn. Absolutely. Oh, let's talk about it. These housewives let that fame, yep, the little fame get to their head. They do. They absolutely do. And it's like, why are you doing this? Like, and you know what really kills me is the fact that you're on a franchise, you're on one of the lowest rated franchises. Like, you're on a franchise where people are still like, we don't want y'all, we want the OGs back. We miss Dorinda and Bethany. You're on, I mean, you know, you're on a franchise where your next season is in limbo. If you're going to get a big head, at least be on a top franchise. Y'all are not Beverly Hills. Y'all are not OC. Y'all are not Jersey. Like, y'all are not Potomac or Atlanta. And you're on the worst Housewives franchise right now. And you have the nerve to have a big head? Like, excuse me, what? You shouldn't have a big head anyway. But it just shows you that this fame goes to their heads. Baby, I told y'all that the Summer House Martha's Vineyard folks, that little fame went to their heads too. I was just like, what's going on? Y'all are on a show that, I mean, is barely cracking 200,000 viewers a week. Me and Kempire and maybe two other Black content creators are the only ones watching the show. Like, what's going on here? I'm just like a mess. Child, it's just like, wait, what are we doing here? Oh yeah, the Summer House Martha's Vineyard girls. Summer was rude. Oh my gosh, the only sweet ones. Jasmine's very sweet. Her husband Silas is very nice too. Noelle is very sweet. She's lovely. But yeah, I don't have much. I don't have. That's where it starts and stops. A lot of them very rude. Like, it's crazy. Crazy. Are we going to be in rare form today? I don't know. It depends, y'all, because this reunion was a bit heavy. So I don't know if we can be in rare form. You know what I'm saying? I know what you want to talk about, but I don't think we're not going to be talking about that today. You said you forgot all their names? Exactly. Sonia was a legend in her own mind too, but at least she was entertaining. Yes. Sonia was definitely a legend in her own mind, for sure. Child, yeah, Summer was rude. I mean, I was like, excuse me? So we're past that now, but Brynn says that she wants to prove to Jessel that she's not that kind of person, and it wasn't her intentions to F up her marriage. And she says, I want to earn your friendship back. So now we have Jessel. Jessel brings up how Sai apologized to her for that. And wait, before I forget, do you guys notice that anytime Erin is a part of a conversation, Erin reminds me of Whitney a little bit on SLC, because Whitney loves to throw rocks and hide and then go back and hide her hands. And Erin does the same thing, because if you notice, anytime they're gossiping about somebody, when somebody throws Erin under the bus, she's the first one to say, oh no, I didn't say that. That wasn't me. You guys said that. And I cannot stand that about Erin. She does that all the time. And I'm like, Erin is cool and all, but I noticed that Erin has an issue with the truth too. Because Erin is really good for crying and, you know, playing victim when she's called out about what she said. But she's always doing that. When it came to the whole thing about, you know, who said the joke about Jenna has money problems. Well, no, I didn't say that. All I said was, and they play the tapes back, and Miss Mamas, you're in your confessional talk about, oh yeah, she has money issues, and you know, I had to pay for the Uber. She didn't pay me back. It's like, girl, just stand 10 toes down on what you said. If you're too afraid to really stand on it, then just shut up. Don't say anything. But Erin does that a lot, and it's very aggravating. Yes, she does it all the time. Erin will flip-flop all over the place and play down what she says. She does it constantly. And I'm like, Erin, this might not be the show for you then if you can't just remember what you said. It's too much. Hey, Isma, thank you for the super chat. Brynn mocked Ubah's accent and it wasn't addressed. Yeah, I felt like Andy dropped the ball on quite a few things in this reunion, because they let a lot of stuff slide. A lot of Brynn's antics went unchecked at this reunion, in my humble opinion. But I was surprised that they did not address that either, because I was irritated by that. Hey, High Vibe, thank you for the super chat. Brynn does not behave like an SA victim. She was very vague about what occurred, and she weaponized her abuse. And as an SA victim, I've never seen this behavior in other victims. Brynn is manipulative. First of all, let me say, I'm very sorry to hear that. My heart goes out to you. I don't want to speak out of turn. I'm gonna be real careful about what I say. But I do believe that Brynn is manipulative, and she absolutely did weaponize what happened to her to punish Ubah. 110%. And at one point, when I think it was Ubah who said to her, you're going to help so many other women come forward. Again, I don't want to speak out of turn, but I feel like what Brynn did, the magnitude of this lie, I'm praying that she did not set people back, because you have so many people looking at Brynn with the side eye now. And I feel like what Brynn just did is might be a hindrance to other people who do want to come forward. But I do believe that Brynn is manipulative 110% for sure. Thank you for the super chat, and thank you for sharing. I think she definitely set people back. As a survivor, she triggered me and upset me. I can imagine. I can definitely imagine, because for you to play like this on a national stage, like, that's unacceptable. And now you have people challenging the validity of your story now because of you lying on Ubah. Brynn played a dangerous game. She played a stupid game, and it's definitely play stupid games, win stupid prizes. But I don't know what Brynn thought was going to come of this, but she went down the wrong road. So now we do have we move along. Andy now, of course, wants to pivot to Brynn and Ubah. The whole conversation about Ubah being an angry Black woman. Remember, Brynn said that to Ubah when they were in the Hamptons. Brynn, all that needed to be said was, I'm so sorry, I spoke out of turn. All this BS about it was not my intention, and how you're a biracial woman who identifies as a Black woman. Stop. Brynn, the way you act, I'm so sorry, but I don't believe that. And I feel like it's convenient for you to say that you identify as a Black woman because you want the backlash to get off of you. That's all it is. But by no means do I believe that you, when you look in that mirror, and even when you just go out into the world, I do not believe that you see yourself as a Black woman. And also, Brynn, I have to clock you on something that I've noticed, but on your Instagram, when I look at your friend group is all white. If you really identified as a Black woman, you would have other Black friends. Like, what are we talking about here? You don't navigate the world as a Black woman. It's just convenient for you to say, and you want to get sympathy, and you want folks to get off of your back for that BS that you told Ubah. Let's call a spade a spade. Why are we sitting up here playing these games? I'm just like, girl, what are we doing? Y'all notice it too, right? On her Instagram, baby, not one Black friend in sight. Not one Black friend in sight. Not another biracial woman. Not a Hispanic friend. I mean, everybody is lily white. Let's call a spade a spade. There is no other chocolate chip in the cookie. There is no speck of color at all. It is all, everybody is like, what are we talking about? What are we doing? Hey, Isma, thank you for the super chat. Brynn's mad because Ubah pulled a white billionaire. Yeah, I mean, we spoke about that in the last recap, I do believe that that's a big reason why Brynn is mad. She's mad because she feels like, how dare this monoracial, black, dark-skinned black woman have the man that I've always wanted, and here I am, biracial, and she's a white passing biracial woman. Let's talk about that. Because you have biracial people who you can tell that they're black. Okay, the half jumped out. You know what I'm saying? Brynn, you got to squint real hard. You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like there is some jealousy there. There's some envy there, because why she said, well, I don't want you to lose your man because you're screaming and yelling, acts like an angry black woman. What? And if you do identify as a black woman, that would not be the first thing to come out of your mouth. Just saying. As somebody who's been black her whole entire life, I mean, I feel like I can talk about that. Just saying. So Brynn says, well, I do want to say I obviously offended you. That wasn't my intention. Then she lies on Aaron. She says something about, you said that they're going to give you the fair treatment because she's white like Aaron. So Aaron's like, wait, Ubah never said that, girl. Like, what are you talking about? I said, again, you see how Brynn lies? Brynn was just lying all up and through this second half. I said, oh my gosh, get this girl some help ASAP. There's something wrong. So now, and even Ubah says you lie left and right. So Andy's like, look, why would you insinuate that Oliver won't want to be with her because of how she acts? And Brynn's like, well, I didn't say that. I want everything for you. Again, more lies. So Andy's like, well, you did mention her man, and it seemed like you were weaponizing that, like the way she acts. So Brynn's like, well, no, I wasn't. So now Ubah says, look, at the end of the day, you know what I love about Oliver? I pray that for every woman who wants somebody, I pray for a guy to let you just be who you are. And that's what I have. She says, I get up at 11 a.m. He brings me tea in bed, like life is good. So now, we have Andy asking about what did Brynn think about the backlash that she got when she said the whole angry black woman comment to Ubah. And she says it was hurtful. Do you see how Brynn is always ready to play the victim? How are you saying that our reaction to what you said was hurtful? We're not just attacking you for no reason. What you said to Ubah was out of line, and we're calling you out for that. Just say, you know what? I'm sorry. I messed up. I don't know what it's like to navigate this world as a black woman, and let's move on. But you're standing 10 toes down in it playing victim. Oh, I was really hurt that folks said that. What are we talking about? So then, she goes into the whole thing about how she's biracial, but she identifies as a black woman, all that nonsense. And now she says, well, maybe I'm not allowed to say certain things because I haven't had the same experiences as you. That right there annoyed me because Brynn, now we're getting into territory where you're low-key saying that being a black woman is full of struggle and strife. And I loved how Ubah checked you and was like, no, I've had great experiences, actually. I love being, black and hot. Like, I get things for free. For you to say that, like, that was really annoying in itself, because there are a lot of people. You have people in the community and non-black people who feel like being black is full of struggle. And that's not what it is. A lot of us are thriving, loving life, like life is good. And for you, and it shows me your mentality that you associate blackness with struggle, with pain, for you to say that. And I wish that Ubah would have went harder on you, because I would have really broken that down right then. And they're like, no, let's stop for a minute, because what do you mean by that? Because all of us have not had, all my life I had to fight story. And a lot of people do view blackness as everything that's wrong, as struggle, and like that's problematic in itself. So for you to say that you look at yourself as a Black woman, but you're saying that, like, we have to really get into some things, miss, because you need some help. There's some stuff going on up here for you to say that. But again, I was glad that Ubah said, no, my experience as a Black woman has been fabulous, actually. Child. Girl, don't get me started, because my blood is already boiling, okay? Hey, Isa, too. Thank you for this. Thank you for the super chat. Brynn is like, Dorito, I got a Black hairdresser. Child. Well, Dorit, honey, Dorit is getting her act together this season, so you can't even put Brynn in the same boat as her, because Dorit actually apologized to Garcelle. Her and Bose are tight. She's bettering herself, getting her act together. So yeah, Brynn is on a ship all by herself. Hey, Adam Boggs McDonald, thank you for the super chat. Brynn's giving Rachel Doles out to the show, and this cast needs another reboot. I agree. If this show wants to make it, they need to make some cast changes immediately. Hey, Rahina, Nina, thank you for the super chat. But also, who says identify as Black? Like, what else would it be? I have a biracial baby and he is Black, nothing else. I don't know. That's a bit much. She was trying to relate Brynn, and she went about that all wrong. Oh, yes. It is an Hermes bracelet. Yeah, I've had this for a while. I did an unboxing video and everything. I have the orange one too. Brynn is the ultimate hater, narcissist, selfish person. Yes, she is. But let's not miss the colorism of that statement from Brynn. I think if Ubah were light-skinned, Brynn would not have treated Ubah the same way. She might have seen her more as equal. Oh, this is why. Okay, I'm so glad I went live today. Baby, y'all are doing it. Wait, no, that is another layer. Do you have 5 minutes? Can I take some of your time? Can we just get into the nitty gritty, like, quickly? Like, I'm not going to drain your ear. I promise you. You better hit the nail on the head, because that's another thing that we do not talk about, especially in the media, when they do portray wealthy Black people who are thriving, doing well, right? Or like love interest, it's always, if it's a woman, they're always light. Oh, like 9 times out of 10. 9 times out of 10. Unfortunately, a lot of people, other Black people, other races have bought into that as well, right? That's why on Potomac, I'm gonna just talk. I'm gonna just break it down. Whoever gets it, gets it. If you don't get it, then I don't know what to tell you. That's why on Potomac, it is triggering to see dark-skinned Black women surpassing lighter-skinned women. You already know who I'm talking about. We don't have to go through it. You already know what I'm talking about. If you're new here, hey, if you have been around, you know a little bit about my story, right? I grew up in a well-to-do family. My father was a lawyer, partner at a law firm, double Ivy League degrees, okay? The reaction that I got in school with the other Black kids, white kids, people other races, there was like a shock. Like, wait, you're dark skinned and you're doing well and you have a family who loves you. Like, it was jarring for people, because in the media, when they do show Black families, it's usually the darker skinned girls come from broken homes. There's abuse. They don't feel good about themselves. So here I am, a little dark-skinned girl from a well-to-do family. I have confidence. I love myself. I love who I am, gregarious personality, all that. There was like, wait, who do you think you are? So people do associate, people are shocked when they see a dark-skinned woman, especially doing well financially, in love, there's a lot of pushback with that because you're fed that, okay, there's a hierarchy. If you're dark, then you're obviously broke, not doing well, struggling. So when they meet you and you're the opposite of that, it's unsettling for people, and people don't know why they think that, but it's been ingrained in people for centuries now. Is what I'm saying hidden? Is it? Am I telling the truth? Or if I'm telling the truth, let me know in the comments. If I'm preaching, let me know. But I'm just saying, as somebody who has dealt with it firsthand, seeing it in the media where they'll only have lighter skinned women as the rich ones and the darker skinned women are the help. I'm just saying. Okay, I'm preaching. All right, I'm preaching today. Let me tell you something. Your comment is just so good. I wish I could just like give you a hug. I mean, this is like you've nailed it. I want to keep your comment up the whole entire day. You nailed it. You nailed it. Okay. People have a lot to unpack. People have a lot to unpack in the narratives that they're fed. I remember, okay, well, let's talk about this. I'll never forget. I shared this in a video like years ago. I will never forget. I had a birthday party, or no, I actually just had like some people come to my house. Like I always had friends over. Like growing up, my house was always like the party house. People loved our house, right? And it was a nice house. But we had a jungle gym in the backyard. Like, you know, my parents did their big one, all right? So I remember there was a biracial girl in our friend group. It was a white mom and a black dad. I guess you could say we were frenemies. She didn't like me, but she wanted to be around me. It was just really weird. So I remember, I don't even know why I invited her to my house. I think subconsciously I kind of wanted to flex because I knew how she really felt about me. I was like 10 years old at this point. It was elementary school, 5th grade. So she comes over and it's like a group. It's like her and like a few other girls. And we're like we're in the jungle gym outside of my backyard. And she turns to me and looks and she's like, oh, like your family has money. And not trying to be funny, but her family did not come from, it was the opposite of how I grew up. I'm gonna put it that way, okay? I don't want anybody calling me elitist or any of that. So let me just say it like that. So she said it with such disgust in her face. And I was like, okay, like, well, I'm a kid. You don't really know about money and who has what, whatever. So she says, I just didn't expect this because you're dark. And I was like, hold on, like what? So I remember when I told my parents, they were so livid. My mom was like, what is their number? I'm calling them up right now. My mom did not play that. Like my dad didn't play. Like they were livid. Like my mom was irate. So like when we talk about these kind of things, I experienced this firsthand. Okay. I remember she never came back to my house again. I remember like she tried to apologize. I was like, no, like I'm good. Like that's just like some real hate. My mom was like, I can only imagine what she's hearing at home. Like how, like I never forgot that moment. And wait, you know what's really funny? I don't even go on my Facebook like that. But do you know that she is in my friend request right now as we speak? I'm like, hey girl, if you're looking at this, you're a loser. A mess. A hot mess. Preach. I've lived your experience. Shocked that my dad was an engineer and my mom was a doctor. Oh yeah, I know you went through it. Child. Let me tell you something. Yeah. Oh, you guys are so cute. What's her Addie? We ride at dawn, honey. I don't even know where she lives anymore. I don't know where she lives. A mess. She trying to actively hate. She trying to be your friend to actively hate on you again. That's always how it goes. That is always how it goes. Okay, you said I'm from Louisiana and the brown paper bag test is real. Okay, wait. The stories that I hear from people who are from Louisiana like are wild. I know there's a lot of like the colorism there is like, and I mean, I've been to New Orleans twice. I had a great time. The men were great. Like everything was lovely. But yeah, I've heard the colorism there is like off the charts. Ciao. A mess. You said she's probably in the chat. Well, honey, if she's in the chat, I have a one finger salute. Oh my goodness gracious. Let me read some of these super chats. Hey, Aviva Lauren, thank you for the super sticker. Hi, Sanivia. Thank you for the super chat. Brooke, the amount of times people have told me you're pretty for a dark-skinned girl, you have long hair for a black girl. Like, what the F is that? Yes, baby. If I would be Jeff Bezos. I would be Jeff Bezos. I've heard every single thing. Yes, yes, yes. Like, it's wild. It's wild. Hey, Paulette, thank you for the super chat. I enjoy it here because at least we're being honest. Yes, we are. That's what I love about y'all. We can really talk about stuff. Like, we can really like get into it, you know? I just, y'all make my day. Hey, and thank you for the super chat. Once someone shows you who they are, believe them. Oh, yeah. Oh, I knew that. Oh, from a kid. As a kid, I knew that. Oh, gosh. It's just, yeah. I told that, you know what? I think I told that story when I remember when the whole OG, the OG versus Evelyn stuff came out. I did a Basketball Wives video. I don't know if it's still up, but in that video, I talked about this story about the same girl and everything. That was when I only had like 3,000 of y'all following me. I was small time. I was real small time when I told that story. Hey, Isma, thank you for the super chat. Raquel is tired. She's biased towards Ubah, but want to validate Brynn's Black experience, but didn't care when Brynn discredited Ubah's career. Girl, bye. Child, baby, Raquel had me done. When she went up there to hug her, she was like, oh, you know, Brynn, we all love you, and we all stand by you. I said, girl, who's we? A mess. A mess. I saw some people saying that they were mad when Andy was joking around with Ubah about like being hot and black and getting free stuff. I thought it was a cute moment. I didn't think that was anything that, like, I mean, I didn't take offense to that at all. He was just joking. It was cute little banter back and forth, but I know that everybody is different, but I didn't take offense to Andy and Ubah having that banter. I thought it was funny. But thank you for bringing that up about if Ubah were lighter, Brynn would have been a lot softer to her. That was a phenomenal point. I didn't mean to get off topic, but I had to talk about it. I couldn't just let that go. Like, we had to really just get into that. And I wish I could talk about it even more, but thank you for bringing that up. So we do have, so Ubah says she accepts Brynn's apology for calling her the angry black woman. She says it's okay. They break for lunch. You know, Brynn is by herself. And then you have Erin saying, oh, is anybody going to join Brynn because she's alone again? And I actually feel bad. I said, Erin, you can't decide. You can't seem to make up your mind when it comes to Brynn. 1 minute you feel sorry for the girl. The next minute you want to cuddle her and coddle her. Like, I'm getting annoyed with that. Why do you have so much empathy and so much grace for somebody who could have destroyed Ubah's life? Had we all believed what Brynn said, Ubah would have been done. And we know how things are. The treatment, the consequences are always worse when it's a Black woman. The punishment is always more severe. So for you to say, oh, I feel so bad that she's by herself for lunch, who gives a flying you know what? Brynn will be okay. That woman fixed her mouth to lie about something so heinous and serious. She'll be all right. She's a 40-year-old woman. Grow up. I was like, girl, stop. We do see everybody talking about it in their dressing rooms. Jenna actually does check on Brynn. Jenna, you're another one. I was getting irritated too, because why are you infantilizing Brynn like this? I understand that you're like, what? You're in your 50s, but stop acting like Brynn is a child or she's a teenager. She's a grown woman. Like, the frontal lobe is fully developed. What are we doing here? Where is all of this sympathy and grace and care and concern for Ubah? I felt like y'all still showed more grace towards Brynn than you did for Ubah. It's just like, it's very aggravating, because we see how severe consequences are for certain people. We do, we see Brynn saying that she's scared to talk to Ubah and too much time has passed. And she says that she's scared of everybody because they all hate her and want to rip her head out. Let's break that down. The language. For you to say that you identify as a Black woman, I'm so sorry, but it's giving full Karen. It's giving white woman, let me use my white woman's tears to bring everybody else down. Because all this, I'm just so afraid, and oh my gosh, poor me, and they're all so mad at me, and I just can't do it. Like, how, it's like, stop. You made a mistake. Nobody's saying that we're perfect or blameless. Nobody's saying that nobody's ever made a mistake before, but we'd have more respect for you if you would just say, you know what? I effed up. Please forgive me. If you don't want to be my friend again, that's fine. But just know that I'm sorry. I never told you that. I lied on you and I apologize. That's it. We would have more respect if you would just do that. But for you to turn this around and act like the group is mad at you and, oh my gosh, poor Brynn. Oh, poor me. I'm just so afraid they want to rip my head out. This is absolute insanity, Brynn. You look insane. You are not the victim here. I don't know how much more to say it, but Ubah's the victim, not you. And I was waiting for Jenna to just say, Brynn, stop. I don't know if Jenna has a slight crush on Brynn, and that's why she gives Brynn so much leeway, but I'm really getting sick and tired of it. And Miss Jenna, I'm so sorry to say this, sis, but I really feel like you've played in our faces too, because we don't get your real life. You haven't really brought us a whole bunch of anything, if we're being honest. Quiet as it's kept, loud as it is, in the words of Funky Dineva, what have we gotten from you? We haven't gotten any real storyline. You won't show us your fiance. Like, we don't know anything about you. I don't know. It's very aggravating. I was getting aggravated seeing Jenna just coddle her like that in the dressing room. I said, what are we doing? So now, Jenna does say you're making it harder on yourself. You don't need to dig in. So we're back on set. Lunch is over, and Rebecca Minkoff comes out. I'm not even going to bore you all, but I didn't really care too much about Rebecca's segment. It was only like 5 minutes anyway. It's clear that the cast does not care for Rebecca at all. Now, Rebecca, I will say, it was a pleasure talking to you at the Watch What Crappens Awards backstage. You were lovely. We had a cute 10-minute conversation. I feel like your personality just isn't right for reality TV. And that's cool. And I mean, and I even told you, I said, Rebecca, I really wish that you were talking to them the way you're talking, like we're talking like on like right now. I was like, I think that you know, you kind of read as like nervous, or I don't want to say scared, but I just said, yeah, I said, I feel like your nerves got the best of you, because I do feel like once you got activated in Puerto Rico, it was too late. And she agreed. She's a good sport. She's very down to earth. She is lovely in person. I will say that. I have nothing bad to say, but I feel like on the show, I think that she's just out of her element. And she even said that on this show, you just don't know what's going to be said to you. And then also, if you, let's say that you and, you know, this person are going out for lunch and you guys say, oh, okay, we're only going to talk about X, Y, and Z. And then all of a sudden you guys get to lunch, and instead of talking about X, Y, and Z, now you're talking about A, B, C. And it's like, wait, I thought we were going to talk about that, not this. Why would you bring that up on camera? So her whole thing was, being on reality TV is not for the faint of heart. And she wasn't prepared. But I understand that. But yeah, I felt bad for Rebecca. I felt like she got the short end of the stick. And you know that Rebecca's not coming back. She announced her departure. Well, word on the street is that they fired her because she was too boring. But either way, she will not be back next season. And I do feel bad, because I feel like if she got one more season, she would have been able to warm up. And we might have seen some more, because she now knows how to play the game, but she won't be there. And I think it's for the best. So, we see Andy brings up the whole thing about, when did Rebecca realize that Brynn had an issue with her? And she said, it started to click when every time I was around, Brynn would make those comments about the Nordstrom rack, about my line being there. So Brynn's like, all I'm saying is, you could have just drugged me right back. Like, you don't have to just sit there and take it. And I'm thinking, Brynn, you were relentless. Every chance you got to make a dig about that lady's brand, you went for it. And I just want to ask you, Brynn, where's your handbag line? Where's your $100 million? I'll wait. You sitting up there trying to read her. How are you reading somebody who is an actual designer? And no offense, sis, but a lot of your clothes look like Nordstrom rack too. So you trying to shade, where's your Chanel? Like, where's your Prada? I don't really see you at Bergdorf's. I don't see you at Neiman's. I don't see you at Saks. Like, girl, what are we doing here? I don't see you in, like, you're not in Cartier. Like, where's the jewelry, sis? Where's the Van Cleef? Like, you have all this to say about net worths and, oh, she's at Nordstrom Rack. Baby, where are you shopping at? Who's your salesperson at Saks? I'll wait. Like, what are we doing here? It's ridiculous. Yup, and like Sai said, what do you do? Exactly. Miss Brynn, I don't have a brand of my own making digs. Exactly. It's just, it's so weird. We still don't know Brynn's job title. Exactly. Oh, you said she looks cheap all the time. Has Brynn ever hosted an event? She hosted that one event last season at the finale when she threw that party and she outed Ubah's boyfriend, Mr. Connecticut, and Ubah got pissed. That's the only event that she hosted. And the gag is, if I remember correctly, I didn't see any food at that event either. There was some cake, some champagne, and that was it. But yeah, Miss Mamas, in the words of Nene Leakes, what's your status at the bank? I'll wait. Where's your Black American Express card? I'll wait. Do you even have a gold or a platinum? Like, let's really get into it. You just have a lot to say, and the pieces aren't hitting on your end either. Because Rebecca can go into Bergdorf's and buy out the store. What can you do? Window shop? Stop. I'm just like, okay. Oh, I missed some super chats. Let me go back. I don't want to mess up your name. Hey, Ubibe. Okay, so did I say it right? Let me know in the chat. I do not want to butcher names, but thank you for the super chat. Keep the truth and positivity going, Brooke. Much love all the way from New Zealand. Oh, wow. We have New Zealand. What time is it over there? You're like in the next day, right? But thank you. In the words of Candy, you're worldwide. Yes, I am. Thank you so much. No, I really appreciate you. Thank you so much. Hey, Miss J, thank you for the super chat. In the words of my beautiful Brooks, Brynn needs to go. Oh, in the words of my beautiful Brooke, Brynn needs to go see Brynn needs to go see several ladies. Yes, she does. She needs to go see every single lady, okay, except for Reba, Sutton's mama, who's a therapist on Beverly Hills. Don't go see her though. She's nobody's lady that you want to see. Hey, Khadijah, thank you for the super chat. Brynn was the model for white fragility. Yes, it was giving very much that this entire reunion. Absolutely. But yes, she's the face for Black women. Stop. Hey, Isa2, thank you for the super chat. Jenna wants to act like Brynn is a baby, and I do think she is racist. The way she was acting disgusted towards Ubah while protecting Brynn before the truth and so protecting her after everything. I don't want to slap Jenna with that. I really don't. I'm going to say this. I think that Jenna just has that internalized bias where the white person is going to always look innocent in their eyes. I would really hope that somebody who designed clothes for our former First Lady, Michelle Obama, would not have that kind of, that evil in her heart. You know what I'm saying? I want to chalk it up to ignorance, and for whatever reason, she wants to baby Brynn because maybe she has a crush on Brynn. Like maybe there's something there with all that fake flirting. I don't know. But I was getting more and more annoyed as the time went on that she kept coddling Brynn. Yes, that's what I was trying to say. Thank you so much. An unconscious bias. Yes, that was it. Thank you. But they get into the whole Scientology thing with Erin asking her about how can you be Jewish and a Scientologist? Aren't those things conflicting, right? So Rebecca was upset with Erin saying that. They get into all that. I mean, I don't have much to say. I don't have much to add. My thing is, Rebecca, all throughout the season, you kept saying that you don't mind talking about Scientology. They can just ask you, but when folks asked you, you were clearly uncomfortable with the questions and you did not want to talk about it. And that's okay, but just say that. But I just felt like going back and forth about this whole thing, I checked out. Now, Erin, I feel like Erin is very passive aggressive. For her to be all, big and bad with Rebecca there at the reunion, I said, okay, girl, where is all this energy coming from? I said, all right. I said, okay. But yeah, Rebecca's segment was like 2 seconds. Her time is over. I actually felt bad for her because when it was time for her to leave, she's like, oh, okay, like, am I leaving right now? Is somebody coming to get me? And Andy was like, no, you can go. And so she's like, okay, like, bye, everybody. Peace out. And nobody says anything to her. She walks away in silence. And then you have Sai talking about, oh, that was awkward. I was like, damn. You have Brynn sitting there on that couch lying on folks. I mean, outrageous lies. Y'all have more smoke for Rebecca Minkoff than you do for Brynn. That's telling. Yeah, I thought they were so rude to her. Yeah, it was rough. I felt bad for her. I said, "Damn, Rebecca, you didn't deserve that." They dismissed her like she was nobody. Yeah, they did. They asked, she answered. Her answers weren't illuminating, but if y'all let everything else slide for everyone else, and yes, Erin was very nasty and lying again, but ain't nobody call her on it. That's a good point too. So cold-blooded. They didn't need to pick on Rebecca like that. Yeah, I felt bad for her. Andy was being rude too. It was weird. Yeah, he was very flippant. It was kind of like, okay, girl, like, you know, like you can go. Your services are done. Like, bye. I was just like, damn. I was like, my God. And I said, if you're treated like that, would you even want to come back to the show? I would have quit too. Like, you know what? I don't need this show. I don't need y'all. And I also thought it was real rich for Brynn to say, you know, don't come on this show to promote your brand. Like, we all had a story. I said, Brynn, what was your storyline exactly? Because from the 6 episodes that I watched all together, because the season was so boring, you didn't have much going on. You had a what? You were trying to get back with your ex to have a baby with him or get his sperm, something like that. And then you lied on Ubah. So what was your storyline? I'll wait. And don't these women come on this show to promote themselves and their brands to build a following and make some money? What was Jenna Lyons' storyline? Because surely it was not sending her son off to college. Surely it wasn't that. Jenna gave us pretty much nothing. So don't talk about, oh, well, you can't come on here to promote yourself. Jenna is on this show to promote herself. Because let's be so for real. Nobody was thinking about Jenna Lyons for a long time. I forgot all about her until she came back on this show. Let's just call a spade a spade. She's become relevant again. And she's even said that the show's been great for her brand and all this stuff. So I'm like, she's on this show to promote her eyelash brand. Is she not? So what are you talking about? Oh, don't come on this show to promote yourself and your brand. Go buy an ad slot. No. The same way y'all promote yourselves, so can Rebecca. Like, I was just done. Exactly. Erin was promoting the hell out of that mezcal brand. She sure was. Oh, a quick side note about that. When I was at the Watch What Happens Live 15th anniversary taping, now I will say, bravo, NBC Universal, shout out to y'all. They will give you a nice, robust goodie bag, okay? Because her mezcal was in the goodie bag along with sprinkle cookies and like all this good stuff. We got like challah bread. I mean, it was a great goodie bag, by the way. So her mezcal was in there. And so I actually have it on my bar cart. I've actually had some of it and it's good. It's like her and Abe did a good job, but I was just laughing because I said, oh my gosh, I had no idea that was her mezcal. So when she was promoting it, I said, oh, that's what I have. Like, oh, it makes sense. But yeah, Erin, you promote the hell out of your mezcal. So it's okay when y'all do it, but not when Rebecca does it. Got it. Child. Yes, nobody has a real storyline. They don't. Hey, yes, they're supposed to have something to promote so Bravo can take their cut. Yep, Bravo wants their 10%. Yeah, exactly. For someone who works in marketing, why is Brynn so pressed about women promoting their brands? It makes no sense. It's jealousy because Brynn has nothing to promote herself. Brynn is sitting up there talking a whole bunch of nonsense. That's all that is. So she's jealous of other people who actually have a brand. Because again, what's her brand? Any smart woman would promote their brand on the show. Exactly. Hopefully you can pop her bottle if she's fired. Bye-bye, Erin. I've already had some. It's good. Like they did a nice job. Like, I'll give her that. I will never not give somebody their 10s. But I thought that it was real rich for them to say that. So now, Rebecca's gone. And now we are discussing the Puerto Rico trip. They're discussing Ubah's reaction to the beach. Raquel is still upset about how Ubah acted. Ubah's defending herself. Can I tell you, I felt like Ubah was doing a lot at the beach. If you don't like the beach, I get it. you expected a more luxurious experience. You wanted the white sands and the clear blue waters, and that's not what you got with Raquel's childhood beach. But Ubah did act a bit immature, in my opinion, the way she was carrying on. So I mean, it's not. I don't really have much more to say about that because I felt like we spent too much time going back and forth about Ubah's actions at the beach. But I said, okay, like, look, can we get to the real meat and potatoes of Brynn versus Ubah, please? Because we spent too much time on this, in my opinion. Ubah saying, I wish I could tell you I cared, but I don't, was real. We don't care about that beach. Yeah, we don't care. I mean, listen, Ubah was rude. Ubah, take it on the chin. You effed up. You were doing too much. But let's move on. I feel like with the reunions, we spend more time on the trivial issues and we only spend like 5 minutes on the stuff that really matters. And that bothers me so much. I'm like, why are we spending so much time on stuff that we could have speed right by? I watched the entire season, Brooke, and as a fellow immigrant, Ubah was very rude and disrespectful. Yeah, she was. I thought she was very disrespectful. I thought it was like, okay, girl, we understand that you don't like the beach. It's not up to your standards, but let's just rein it in a bit. This is not your trip. Can we please have some manners? Let's stop. Like let's take it down a few notches, please. Did they address Abe saying he was attracted to men in the past? I forgot all about that. Oh my gosh, I forgot all about that. No, they didn't talk about that. I don't. Yeah, no, they didn't talk about that. Did they talk about that, y'all? Maybe I missed it. They didn't talk about that. That's what I'm talking about. Andy spends too much time on stuff that we don't care about, but we miss the stuff like that. Yeah, we didn't. I don't remember them talk. They did not bring that up. I'm surprised that and you know Andy loves to ask about have people had like like he'll say, have you ever dipped in the lady pond before to the other women? And he'll ask men if they've ever had an experience. So I was shocked that he didn't bring that up either. Thank you I forgot all about that. Thank you. Oh, wait, what did he say? You said briefly he spoke on it. Wait, what did Andy say? Like what did Aaron say? He said, oh, he said Abe was brave to bring it up. Oh, he said that at this reunion or on Watch What Happens Live? You said, I'm sure Andy took note. Y'all are so funny. So, y'all are so funny. Oh, wow. He was vulnerable. Aaron talked about Abe's sexuality on the Jeff Lewis show. Oh, wow. Oh, I did not know that. Yes, they didn't really go into the prank and what its intention was, discovering the leaky pigeon, who is in this case was discovered to be Brynn. Yeah, we skipped right over that. Like there was a lot of stuff that we didn't spend a lot of we just bypassed completely. I feel like these reunions are a bit too rushed and we are skating by a lot of important questions that need to be asked. Like some stuff is just falling through the cracks. Where are we now? So now we finally get off of that about the beach. Brynn says that not Brynn, Ubah says that she does apologize for ruining Raquel's childhood memories. I don't know why Andy thought that we cared to talk about Jenna's pubic hairs. Why was that even something to even talk about at this reunion? It wasn't funny then. It's not funny now. Why is this even a topic? Like, we spent 2 minutes too long on that. I was like, are you serious right now? Who cares? So now we start talking about the whole comment that Ubah made saying that, wait, sorry, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to lose my spot. I apologize. Okay, we get into the whole thing about Ubah making the comment regarding Brynn must have sucked a dick or slept with somebody to get the job on the show. And Andy brings up how Andy's like, well, when you said that, obviously you had to know that she was upset about that, especially since, on the Jeff Lewis show, comments were made. Even though nobody said anything bad when Erin was on the Jeff Lewis show, nobody said anything bad about Brynn. So Brynn being mad about that made no sense to me. Just whatever. Let's not even get into all that. But Ubah says, honestly, I wasn't thinking about Jeff Lewis. It was a stupid thing that I said. So she does own it. And then Andy says, is there a difference between saying that somebody sucked a D to somebody slept with somebody for a job? Ubah's whole little analogy made no sense. She's talking about, well, because what if I said that I have... Andy was like, wait, what? He's like, what's going on here? So Brynn said, but Ubah says, knowing what I know now, I'm very sorry. Brynn does accept her apology. So now we get into the accusation against Ubah. Finally, that is what we've all been waiting for, the main attraction. Andy says, I just want to say, Brynn, nobody here doubts that anything happened to you. Like, that's baseline. They all believe you. But can you please clarify for us when you told Ubah about the SA? So Brynn says it was the week before BravoCon. She got a call from one of her family members because they had purchased a gun. So she says that she didn't know if the person who did this to her was dead or alive. And the first person that she called was Ubah because Ubah's her good friend. So she says that she started screaming on the phone and she's like, why is this happening to me? This man did several things to her. I can't say the words. YouTube gets real weird, but you guys know what I'm talking about. So she says, that she word vomited on the phone to Ubah. She says, maybe Ubah didn't hear me because literally in my defense, I was rambling like a lunatic. She says, I said it, but maybe she didn't hear me. I was already irritated because what's coming out of Brynn's mouth already sounds like a bunch of BS. Like I was already, I'm already irritated. I'm already at the edge of my seat, just annoyed because it just felt like, here we go with you trying to string up a story about how Ubah knew when she did not. So she says, when I went back to my room in Puerto Rico, I didn't feel loved by you guys. I even said, in her defense, maybe she did not hear me because I was incoherent. Sai and Erin, although y'all both work my last good nerves, shout out to y'all for shutting that down. They both say, that's not what happened. You never said that. Don't even do that. I said thank you. Because the story keeps changing. And if they did say that, they would have played the tapes back and they would have heard you say that. You didn't say any such thing about, oh, well, I said in her defense, maybe I was just incoherent. A lie. I was too done. So again, Sai and Erin are on Bryn's ass. Like, again, that never came out of your mouth. Stop. So Brynn, you see how dangerous Brynn is. And this is why I keep saying that she acts like a Karen. For her to say, don't do that, don't do that. Do you know what we're talking about here? I said, wait, you're trying to threaten them and act like they're talking about what happened to you? Do you hear? Y'all really don't understand. I wanted to jump through that TV and yank Brynn. I was livid. I said, for this woman to sit there and now pretend like they're trying to attack her and discredit what happened to her, that's not what they're talking about. You know what? I'm about to start cursing. I really, my blood is really boiling because I'm getting really pissed off. I was livid. I loved how Jenna finally jumped in and said something. Jenna says, that's not what we're doing. Nobody is downplaying what happened to you. They're just saying that you never said that. So Brynn says it was upsetting to watch the episode back because I remember standing in the room talking to you guys about what happened, and you guys did not even come and hug me. You guys were all in the bed asking me, oh, who was it? How rich was he? I said, Lord, help me today. I said, oh my gosh, do y'all see how this woman is sick? Do you see how ill you have to be to conjure up a lie like that? Now you're talking about, oh, they were asking about what. I can't even formulate words right now. Brynn is dangerous. And I was waiting for Andy to say, that never happened. We can play the tapes back right now. I know that Andy's position is supposed to be neutral. He can't really jump in like that. But in this situation, when things are really dire and we have reputations on the line and allegations like this to this degree, because be very clear, SA is nothing to play about in any capacity. So for this woman to sit up there and say that you guys didn't even comfort me, y'all were asking about, oh, what does he look like? How rich is he? Had somebody walked over there and slapped you, Brynn, it would have been well deserved. And I don't believe in violence. I'm not saying to put hands on anybody. But when you want to lie, this could ruin everybody's life, their livelihoods. We are treading on such dangerous waters. You have the fan base, the Bravo fan base is like 90% women. A lot of women who have gone through this. You have women on the cast who've gone through that too. So for you to say that, we just sat there and we were like joking around about it. Had you gotten knocked out, it would have been well. Like I was floored. I was shocked. I said, this woman can sit up there and lie with a straight face like this. That's diabolical. That is diabolical. And Sai was livid. She said, excuse me, what? We never said that. Are you serious right now? They all jumped in like, girl, are you for real? Are you kidding me right now? You are pulling stuff out of your ass. I've never seen anything like this. I said, Brynn tops Ashley Darby. I mean, you want to talk about diabolical? That is somebody who will try to take you down and they will sit up there and smile and act like what they're saying is the God's honest truth. She will look you in your eye and tell you that the sky is green. And will really believe it. Like I said, this girl is insane. I was floored, y'all. Floored. Hey, Tania04, thank you for the super chat. So Ubah responding to being provoked on numerous occasions warrants a roundtable talk per Bravo production, but Brynn acting easier than a plate of rice, constantly gay baiting, etc. against Grace. Child. This woman can sit up there and lie, ruin people's lives, and it's still just, oh, we just love Brynn. Let's give her grace. She's just a girl. It's I have no words. I have no words because they give Brynn like 1/10 of the treatment that she should actually be getting. They let Brynn off way too easily all season long and at this reunion. Thank you for your super chat. Hey, Mel Penn, thank you for the super chat. Brynn and Ashley Darby are the same person. And you know what? I'm going to go a step further, Mel Penn. I think that Brynn is worse. I think that even Ashley Darby has a limit. And I know that's wild to say. I don't even think that Ashley Darby would lie like this. I said, girl, you need help. So Jenna says, no, you told us that she might not have clocked it, and that's careless. I said again, Jenna, if we could have gotten this from you all season, that would have been great. I said, it's better late than never. I'm glad to see you finally show up for work and let Brynn know that she's dead ass wrong for what she's doing. It's about time. So you have Brynn crying and she's still playing victim. She's like, but what state was I in? You just lied on Ubah. You could have destroyed this woman's life. Nobody gives a damn about the mental state that you were in. Like, we really don't care. We really don't. Like, I don't know how else to say it, but we don't. It's not about you, sweetheart. It's about Ubah. It's about how you lied. So nobody gives a damn about how you were feeling. And oh, I was just so shook up, and nobody cares about the state that I was in. Did you care about the state that she was in when you lied on her? So Ubah is crying. Seeing Ubah cry like that broke my heart. I even have my little travel tissues with me because I feel like I might start crying at one point. I was so angry. So Brynn's like, oh my gosh, you guys are all holding me accountable to this one damn word. I said, Andy, get this woman off the set. Get this woman off the set. She is really crying like they are doing something to her. This is wild. So Sai says, Brynn, you could have buried Ubah with an allegation. You could have ruined her life. What aren't you getting? What's not clicking up here in your pea brain? So Brynn says, I was hurt. And she says, let's just say that even if it was totally out of my ass, why wasn't the reaction from you guys, oh my gosh, honey? You know, I feel like I've called her every name in the book, but I was truly gone at this point. For you to say that, why couldn't I receive sympathy? Even for you to say that, well, even if I did lie, why didn't I still get sympathy? That is peak Karen behavior. Peak Karen behavior. And I really want to take it a step further, but I don't want, you know what? I'm going to just leave it right there. I'm going to leave it right there. But this is that stuff that got Black folks taken out back in the day when our grandparents were growing up. This is that kind of stuff that cost people their lives because of these antics right here. I'm going to leave it right there. I'm going to just leave that right there. This is wild that you can twist your mouth to say, well, even if I did lie, why didn't I still receive sympathy? Are you insane? Have you completely lost your mind? Child. Hey, Rich the Fish, thank you for the super chat. Brooke, you look so pretty today. Thank you. Also, in my opinion, Brynn is a very dangerous person to be around. Her lies are as dangerous as Portia's. Yup. Accusation. Exactly. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And the worst part about with Brynn, there's no remorse. She's playing victim. So, you know, we have the ladies trying to talk sense into Brynn. And at one point, I'm just sitting there with my mouth wide open because did y'all notice that you had Jessel, Raquel, Aaron, Jenna, Sai? They are all talking to Brynn, hoping that what they're saying resonates in some way, shape, or form. And Brynn is looking at all of them like they're speaking Japanese. Like it's not clicking at all. The fact that they're all breaking it down for her that your lie was irresponsible and could have cost this woman her jobs, endorsements, future endorsements, her relationship possibly. Everything could have been hanging on the balance because of this lie. The fact that you're sitting there still pretending and acting like you're so confused, that's alarming. Because they all had to go one by one and break it down that what you did could have had severe consequences. And she's still not grasping that. They see her as a baby that needs coddling and help and not a grown woman fully grown. I definitely feel like Jenna feels that way about her. Jenna definitely treats her like a toddler. You can't get through to someone like that. That solidified it for me when they all had to take turns sitting her down and telling her what you did was wrong. And she's sitting there fake crying, confused, like they're talking, like they're not even saying anything. Like I was complete insanity. Andy finally jumps in to break it down for Brynn. And I said, thank God, Andy, because I was waiting on you to say something because clearly old girl just isn't getting it. It's not clicking. So Jenna says, Brynn, we were all devastated for you. Then when we found out that Ubah did not do it, we realized that you were hinging a story so definitively, but you were not really sure if she knew or not, and that's damaging. I said again, Jenna, thank you for finally showing up to work and making it plain for Brynn. So Brynn says, well, I assume that when I say something to somebody, I just assume that they know what I'm saying. Ubah's crying. I felt her pain because I could just tell that Ubah probably wanted to punch her out. Like I could just tell that Ubah was just so pissed that she's sitting in front of this woman who's not taking any accountability whatsoever. So Andy's like, well, Ubah, how are you feeling? What are you thinking? And Ubah's like, I have to gather myself. You know, she's still crying. And who wouldn't cry? Because you're so angry. So Andy's like, well, do you remember the phone call before BravoCon? Ubah says, yes, vaguely. And Andy goes on to ask her, do you remember her telling you that? So Ubah's sobbing and she's like, she never said it. I never heard that. She says, I kept saying, remind me, Brynn. And you looked at me and you wouldn't tell me. You never told me. Did you guys peep as Ubah is breaking down into tears? When the camera flash pan back to Brynn, do you notice Brynn's facial expression? Do you see how smug Brynn is while Ubah is sobbing for her life? If that isn't pure evil, then I don't know what is. Because I'm so sorry. If I see anybody crying like that, I'm probably going to cry with you. And the fact that there was no emotion in Brynn's face when Ubah said, "You didn't tell me, I never heard it, you never said it. Remind me, remind me, remind me." And Brynn had that smirk on her face. I said, I am done. Child, baby, it was definitely giving sociopath. I agree. She's a psycho. No expression on her, no sympathy, just staring. Yup, she was staring with that little smile like this. I said, wow. Brynn treats everything like it's a game. We have to remember editing also. Brynn may not have looked like that in that exact moment. No, I don't think that was editing. I think that was in the exact moment, because when the camera pans out and you see like the whole cast, right? And we see Ubah crying, and then we see Brynn, her facial expression was still the same. When that camera panned into that close up and you see she's emotionless, that was in that same exact moment. I don't believe that production tried to edit things to make it look shady. That was in that exact moment. Brynn felt nothing. And yes, oh, it was that you chased me down the hallway for me. Oh yeah, when she said that, I was too through to make it seem like she was violent. And when Ubah screamed at her, I said, Ubah, go ahead. I said, Ubah, get it all out. I couldn't believe Brynn. Almost 40 years old, and Brynn is being this juvenile. Yup, smug and proud. She was hurtful. All of this, and we still don't know what she does for a living. Child. Oh, listen, this episode was too much. That was vile. It was vile. Hey, Callie, thank you for the super chat. Does Jenna have a crush on Brynn? Jenna only took a stand to keep her out the hot seat. She was back to making excuses for Brynn on Watch What Happens Live. Yes, she was, because she was on that episode with Bose. And she said, Brynn's like a little baby. She's like a toddler. She's like she said she's like a petulant toddler, but you just love her. And I said, Jenna, what? That's a grown woman. What are you talking about? I think that she does have a crush on Brynn, but I'm sorry. Can I tell you something? Even if you have a crush on somebody, you still know that some things are too far. Like, crush or no crush, or a slight crush, Jenna should still be holding Brynn to task for what she did. So Brynn says that Ubah chased her down the hallway. Ubah's like, I did not chase you, and I heard what you texted Erin. We find out that Brynn texted Erin that she was violent towards her, and Ubah's like, I was effing violent towards you. Like, are you serious right now? More Karen behavior, because a lot of times they like to paint Black women as aggressive, or I felt threatened, I was scared. If you get into it with a white woman and she's yelling at you, and if you dare to yell back at a white woman, she's saying, oh my gosh, like, I was so afraid. You were afraid, but yet you yelled at me first. How were you so afraid? It's the same tactics. So miss me with all that about, oh yeah, I view myself as a Black woman. You don't, because you're living your life out of the Karen handbook. So Ubah says, since the day you've met me, you've wanted to discredit me and hurt me, and I've always felt for you. I've always loved you. So Sai and Erin agree. And now Brynn says, yeah, that's why you're my first call. So Uba says, for you to tell Raquel and Jenna something like that, and then Sai interrupts and says, you weaponize your experience for the downfall of a friend. Sai is 100% correct. That is exactly what Brynn did. So Brynn says, watch your language with me to Sai. Watch your language? Really? So it's okay for you to lie on folks and almost cause them to completely just their lives destroyed. But when somebody calls you out, now it's watch your language towards me. Brynn, you should feel ashamed of yourself. Period. Like, you should feel ashamed. You should feel embarrassed. This is so disgraceful. All you had to say was, I'm sorry. I effed up. Please forgive me. That's it. Sai's still calling her out, and she's like, you're trying to make this trivial. And Brynn says, because it's getting to be too much. So when your feet are held to the fire for your lies, now it's too much. But it wasn't too much to almost destroy Uba's life. Got it. So Uba says, Brynn, this was a very wrong thing that you did, but I do forgive you. I'm not mad at you, but we will never go back to what we were. I want nothing to do with you, and I'm hurt. I loved you. I wanted your friendship, but I'm done. I want to go back to when I didn't know who the F you were. So Andy now goes on to ask Brynn what she's feeling, and Brynn says, after all of it, nobody comforted me. I damn near threw my MacBook out the window when she said that. Like, you guys could have literally just seen me. I was almost passed out because I was speechless. She is still talking about nobody comforted her after she's the one who did somebody dirty. Jenna and Erin both say, no, that's not true. We both reached out to you after it happened, but you shut us down. So Brynn says, I'm dealing with two things that no woman should ever deal with in life, and you guys are picking at me about what I said. Because what you said could have had severe consequences. What aren't you getting? Why is this so hard to understand? What's so difficult to grasp that what you said could have really destroyed Uba's life? Why are we still going around and around the mulberry bush about, well, I'm her, and why do you guys keep harping on what I said? It's not that deep. If I say what I want to say, how I really want to say it, this live will be shut down. YouTube will yank this video off. So I'm going to just keep it right there. Okay. Y'all, I did not mean to get so heated, but this final part took it all out of me. Andy interjects and he's like, Brynn, do you think that anybody here doubts what happened to you? So there's a long silence, and now Brynn says, well, I don't know. Brynn, the fact that you want sympathy and you want to act like you're the victim. And also, if somebody now does not believe your story, could you blame them? This horrific lie that could have ended Uba, no remorse. Could you honestly be surprised if somebody said, now I'm rethinking all this? You've shown your hand that you are a liar. So for you to act like, oh, well, they might not believe me. You dug your own hole, or you dug your own pit, whatever the expression is. I'm just, the mindset I'm confused by it. She is still playing victim to the bitter end. I said, wow, girl. Brynn is truly something. I love how Jenna said, please don't mix up the two things. Okay, like nobody's saying that we don't believe you. We're just saying that what you did was wrong and you lied on Ubah. Brynn finally gives one of the weakest apologies I've ever heard. She's like, I did say that I'm sorry. I don't remember hearing it, Brynn, until now, but okay. Ubah is sobbing at this point, and now Ubah walks over to Brynn and she says, I'm really sorry, and she gives Brynn a huge hug. Brynn says, I would never blame you for something like this. I just got so hurt because I remembered you saying it. And now Ubah's whispering that Brynn needs to apologize to all the girls because they love her. And Brynn says, no, they don't. Now, Ubah, respectfully, I need to ask you, what were you apologizing for? Can somebody let me know in the comments? What was she apologizing for? Because she already apologized for saying that you suck D to get the job and get on the show. We already moved past that. Right now, we're talking about how this woman harmed you and almost destroyed your life. So what are you apologizing for? I was baffled by that. Can somebody let me know in the chat? Y'all let me know. Oh, say this again. I need us to stop being so grateful. Let Black women be petty. I agree. I agree with that. Listen, I'm not saying that you have to hold grudges. I'm not saying that, you like, if Ubah wants to forgive Brynn, that's fine. That's great. Because letting go is important. Holding on to negativity, it does something to you. I told you guys, I'm trying to work on forgiving and letting go of some stuff that I'm still holding grudges about, right? Like I'm on the journey, right? But we don't need to reconnect for me to forgive you. And I can still forgive you and I can still be petty, in my humble opinion. I forgive you, Brynn, but I'm gonna still curse you out on this couch. I'm not hugging you. I don't wish ill on you, but I'm not hugging you and saying I'm sorry. What am I sorry for? Sorry for what? I said, Ubah, what was this all like? And I don't want to say what was this all for, because Ubah's allowed to process this however she wants to process this. But I just was a bit annoyed that she was groveling and saying, I'm sorry, and like what are we saying I'm sorry about? Yes, forgiveness does not have to mean reconciliation. Exactly. Oh, okay. Ubah was apologizing that the essay happened to her, I believe, like she said it happened. Okay. Okay, maybe that's why she said it. That makes sense because, again, I was confused why she kept saying, I'm sorry. But that does make sense. Ubah did it for herself, and because she's the better person, I think she's sorry that this has happened and that Brynn had that happen to her. I can see that. I'm sorry too that we had to watch this. I'm sorry that Bravo did not give us a trigger warning at the beginning of the finale episode. Like, I'm sorry that this made it to air. I'm sorry that Brynn is still on this show carrying on like this. I just felt bad for Ubah because it feels like, someone tries to destroy you and No, you know what? Let me not even get into all that. I was irritated. I was irritated. I'm not even going to hold you and say that I wasn't. I was really annoyed because I would not have been that big of a person. I would not have been able to go over to Brynn and give her a hug and say, I'm sorry. The best I could do is I accept your apology. It's going to take me some time to forgive and heal, stay on your side, leave me alone. And that's all I've got for you. Like that's really all I would have for Brynn. We do see the ladies. Size says that's very nice of Brynn. They're all very shocked that Ubah went over to hug her. Now, mind you, at this point, the reunion's pretty much over, but we do see everybody else take a break. They're in their dressing rooms, and it's just Ubah and Brynn on set. They're still talking. So Brynn's like, I'm just so sorry. I'm so sorry. I wanted to call you so badly. I was scared that you'd be mad at me. And I'm thinking, Brynn, you guys wrapped filming in June. The show premiered in October. The show is finally over. You've had ample time between June and now to reach out to Ubah. Why did you wait until the reunion to finally talk about this? That's cowardly, in my opinion, because there is no way that I would have waited this long to make things right. In my humble opinion, you lie on somebody like that, and now you want to wait until, almost a year. And let's also be so for real. It's bad enough lying on somebody, right? But to lie on somebody at this level, they're going to be pissed at you. So for you to say, oh, I was worried that you'd be mad at me. Well, duh. You did it. Take the lick. Try to move on and go about your business. But for you to try to avoid this for almost a year, I'm like, there's something wrong, Brynn. We have Ubah saying, we have Brynn saying, I don't want to see you hurt. I love you. And Ubah says, I do forgive you. I really mean that. I'm sorry for what I said. I didn't mean it. I'm so proud of you. So many women are afraid to come forward, but you're going to help a lot of people. I said this earlier on. I don't know how Brynn is going to help a lot of people when she's pulling stunts like this. I feel like she's hurting people by doing this. We do see Ubah urging her to apologize to everybody in the group. Now we have Brynn and Ubah, hugging out once more, and now they go off to use the restroom. So now, we do see the other ladies in their dressing rooms talking about what went down. You have Jenna saying that, she feels sorry for Brynn and she refers to her as a girl. I just said, you've got to stop doing this. Brynn is a grown woman. Stop referring to her like she's this little, cutesy girl. Stop. She was good and grown when she did this. That's the issue now. That's why Brynn keeps doing this, pulling these stunts, because y'all keep coddling her like she's a baby. So everybody's back on set now. Oh no, we see Raquel go into Brynn's dressing room and she says, we all love you. She's crying. She says, our hearts are broken for you. And I said, why hasn't anybody checked up on Ubah and given her a big hug? Like, Raquel, take these tears over to Ubah. Y'all need to be crying about how Ubah was lied on. Why are you saying we're all here for you, Brynn, whatever you need? What? We close out the reunion with the final thoughts. And that's where we end the reunion. I didn't care to hear the final thoughts about them going around the room saying all these pleasantries about each other. I was over it. I was done. Personally, I think that in order for New York to come back, there has got to be some cast changes. I'm going to tell you like this. If Brynn comes back onto this show, the ratings will tank. Y'all have made it clear, everybody has spoken, that they do not want Brynn Whitfield back on this show. I think it's in Bravo's best interest if they need to either fire everybody, or if they want to keep everybody, I guess do that, but Brynn has got to go. I don't think that Brynn, Brynn, you've hurt yourself. Had you shown some contrition at this reunion, some remorse, had you come in there saying, guys, I am terribly sorry. I don't know why I said that. Ubah, please forgive me. You might have had a chance. But to see you stand 10 toes down in the foolery and play victim for the remaining 45 minutes of this reunion, then on top of that, present day, you're giving interviews with Rolling Stone and other publications, still blaming everybody else. Miss Mama, stick a fork in you. You're done. Like, you're done. We're done here. There's nothing to see. Your time is over. And I really hope that your marketing job takes off, because I don't see you getting a check from Bravo anytime soon. I don't know how they come back from this. I think that this has put a horrible dark cloud on this franchise. Yeah, I was disgusted. Guys, I almost did not even do this recap because I just knew that I was going to be so livid talking about this again. Yup, she's still lying now. No accountability, and she'll do it again. She will. Ubah also. Yeah, I saw Ubah's interview. I read Ubah's interview. It was great. It was a very good read. They'll be writing essays about Brynn's behavior. Yup, she actually affected a real marriage. I hope Pavitt apologizes to Jessel. Well, I just want to make sure that I didn't miss any super chats. Hey, High Vibe, thank you for the super chat. I want more proof about Brynn's childhood. Her being silent about her career means either her family is rich or she's a rich man's concubine. LOL. No, I believe it about her upbringing, how she grew up not having a whole lot, because the way she acts, Brynn acts like somebody who grew up, like the social climbing with Brynn, the constant trying to put others down. It's like a way for her to forget that she also grew up in tough times too. I think that Brynn wants to do this thing where she's forgetting that she had a hard time growing up. She wants to pretend like she wants to rewrite history like she grew up so well to do, because the way she speaks about things and people, and it's like, Miss Girl, let's talk about how you're not even from the East Coast. You're not from the Northeast. You're not from New York. You're not even from Jersey or Philly. Like, stop. You're from the Midwest. You're from Indiana. And it's no shade, but you want to act like you've always been this cosmopolitan woman who is from the big city. That's not you. You're a transplant. Again, it's no shade, but I know it's a lot of people who move to either LA or New York from the Midwest. They want to look down their nose on other people, and it's like, but Miss Mamas, you're not from here. You just got here. Why are you looking down your nose on other people? No, Brynn does not give me that she came from a secret rich family at all. Brynn gives very stereotypical, trying to rewrite history, and she's ashamed that she grew up the way she did. She gives very much that, in my humble opinion. Hey, Callie, thank you for the super chat. Brynn said everybody came to comfort me but Ubah. She wanted Ubah to coddle her like everyone else. Why are Black housewives expected to take it? That's a whole other conversation about how, just in general, people expect Black women to be saviors. There's a word that comes to mind that starts with an M. That, you know, the word that like a lot of people look at Black women as that. Not me, girl. It never gave that. It never will give that ever. I don't have my cape is not on. Like, absolutely, absolutely. You said it. That's the exact word. That's exactly how people look at Black women. No, ma'am. No, it is not over here, not in this lifetime or the next. Mm-mm. Listen, Brynn would not have gotten a hug out of me. There would have been no consoling. All I can give you is, I accept your apology. That's it. Be glad that I did not throw my Louboutin at you. That's all I can give you. Like, be glad that I did not... like, be glad that I did not show my entire ass. That's the best I've got for you. That's the best I can do. Yup. Especially dark-skinned Black women. Say that again. Yeah, and also when I look back at situations, I'm like, you know, I see why I was met with hostility, because growing up, I was treated like a princess. I operated in that since birth. Like, folks were like, who is this little girl? Like, with this, like she, like, who does she think she is? Like, it never gave, like, it, like, you know how, like, on TV, when they have a Black friend, she's always a sidekick. It never gave sidekick. I never gave that. Never. I was, honey, I was the main character in my life and everybody else's life. Like, no, like, I'm so serious. Like, I really, like, people could not take me. They couldn't take me, especially the white kids. They were like, wait, what? I was nobody's sidekick. It was never that. It was never giving supportive character ever. I was not putting my cape on for anybody. No. And they used to have it because, and also, honey, I was, and listen, I still am. I was the biggest crybaby growing up. Like, you think how, you know, Candace cries on Potomac, or how she used to cry when she was on the show. That was like me to the T. Girl, I used to be in class. Somebody said something, I would be crying. Folks would be so upset. Like, why is she crying? Like, what, honey? I can outcry the best of them. Okay, the best of them. When I used to work in corporate, and those white girls would try me, honey, and I'd be in HR I'd be crying. I would be out crying every damn body. Like, absolutely not. It just wasn't happening. It was none of that going on over here ever, and still not. I never had a cape, honey, ever. I had the cape for myself, for me, myself, and I. Okay. Oh my goodness. Listen, y'all. This conversation was good. Oh, no, I was always like, not you out crying a Karen. I sure was, and do, and will, and was. Okay, anytime. Listen, they think their tears are doing something. I'm just crying. I'm just sobbing. I'm just, what? Honey, she's an actress, honey. Okay, you better know me. I was getting my sympathy, okay? Oh goodness, y'all. When I tell y'all this live was everything. Um the lives have just been so on point. Like y'all have been hitting it like on the head. I mean, just the commentary. I wish I could have read everybody's comment, but like y'all really showed up. Everybody, like the commentary in this chat was so good. Oh, it was so good, y'all. So good. Oh gosh. Oh, Bravo has a documented history of not protecting their dark-skinned Black housewives. Oop, talk about it. They always had to move along and fend for themselves. Candace, Wendy, and now Ubah. Nothing will be done for Ubah. I'm praying that Brynn does not come back because Bravo will have to cancel the show by episode 2 if they bring her back. If they don't protect Ubah, I'm betting money on it. I will bet money that if they do not protect Ubah in this circumstance, this show is done. Done, in my humble opinion. But yes, I do agree that the ball is dropped when it comes to the dark-skinned Black housewives being protected. We have folks getting hit upside their head, water thrown on them, and nobody says anything. Child, this was good. Wait, who has a book deal? Are you going to buy her? Oh, Brynn. Brynn has a book deal. Are you going to buy her memoir if she still has her book deal? I'm not buying that. I am not buying that. Oh, goodness. Y'all, this was good. This live was just everything, guys. I can't stop saying that. Like, I have goosebumps because every point that y'all made was perfection. But y'all, y'all have me screaming. Nobody is buying that book. Say what? Wait, what you said? Say what book deal? She's an author now. Must be fiction. You said fiction section. It would probably be a book of lies. Oh, I love y'all right back. I love y'all down. But guys, who wants to read that? Nobody. I know I don't. I'm not reading any of that. You said Brooke was out crying Danielle on the traitors. Sure was. Oh, yes. Oh, I love you guys right back. This is a group of critical thinkers. Yes. No, because listen, we will show out we know when to show out, but we know when to really be serious and just speak facts. Okay. So yes, I agree. You said at least the chat was not like the Beverly Hills chat. Oh, thank you for the super chat, LC Charm. Thank you. Oh, you're talking about yesterday's chat. Y'all really showed out. I knew somebody was gonna bring that up. Y'all really showed out yesterday. Talking about Reba is a dominatrix. Y'all are too much. Y'all. Well, we're going to end it on that note, honey. Reba the dominatrix just in time for Valentine's Day. Y'all are too funny. But wait, I didn't miss any super chats, did I? Okay, no, I did not. Okay, y'all. Child, we're going to end it right here. But guys, I had a great time. I know I was animated. Y'all, my blood was boiling. Brynn took me over the edge. Oh, let me read one more super chat. Hey, Adam Boggs McDonald, thank you for the super chat. At this rate, put Gina from OC on New York so it dies. Gina might save the show. Then we'll have to see her again. Yes, I do watch Summer House. I do. I like it. I love Summer House. The premiere was so good. Last night's premiere was so good. Maybe I'll do some lives on Summer House. Maybe that will be lit. We can talk about Sierra and Wes and all that stuff going on. But y'all have a wonderful rest of your night. Have a happy Valentine's Day. Just have a happy weekend, okay? Like just love on yourself. Have a good time, okay? Enjoy yourself, honey. I'm gonna leave it there before this chat turns into something else, okay? But enjoy your Valentine's Day. I know I will. And I will see you all for Potomac because I cannot wait for this reunion. But y'all, I love y'all down. Have a wonderful rest of your day. And I will see you all later. Bye, guys. Thank y'all. Y'all are the best.